Welcome everybody to a pre-recorded, because our Wi-Fi is bad, production of Twin Cities Roller Derby, our very first round-robin weekend. We've got our first bout here today is the Twin Cities Terrors versus Wisconsin Men's Roller Derby. And we've got, let's see, Nader's going to Nate for Twin Cities Terrors up at the front, trying to get through and getting 4 points. Looks like we do have a scoreboard that's working on the recording, which is fantastic. As Shay McPowan says, we're punching above our weight on this one. Let's see. And I don't have any rosters in front of me. That's number 916 for Wisconsin Men's. And almost through the pack. And holding on that inside line, getting just by number 27. That's York. And staying in bounds, California Curls for Wisconsin, showing off some pretty stellar footwork. And you may notice our lovely blue drapes. That's to keep the water into buckets and off of the floor. We've had a lot of snow here. Had a lot of snow here leaking through the roof. Pete's trying to distract me. I was saying things at me now. A lot of people are looking at me, and I'm very, very awkward feeling now. But there goes Force Vector for Twin Cities Terrors for his first jam of the day. And our first penalty of the day, that'll be 0405 Call of Duty headed to the Lake Monster holding tank. And Force Vector doing some pretty fancy toe stop footwork, getting through there. 4 more points. Oh, and Nacho Man is headed also to the Lake Monster holding tank. Lake Monster holding tank named, of course, for our lovely beer sponsor, Lake Monster Brewing. They've been very, very nice to us for a very long period of time, and we love them very much, and we're happy for the beer that they make and that they provide to us. It's just a ton of fun. Ooh, a bit of a spill happening in that second apex. Sorry we're not able to get a clear picture of it, especially with that one little corner out there. And then Nacho Man doing some quick-footed work to get through that line. Is that Nacho Man? It's number 4-6. He skated by too quickly, and I couldn't read the name. Here we'll line up. This will be Derby Monster's first jam of the day for the Twin Cities Terrors. Didn't catch the name of the Wisconsin jammer, but we'll figure it out. It's going to be great. Okay, and Derby Monster is going to try to shove his way through on the outside. Wisconsin Men's has his number for now, getting knocked into the middle, or to the inside. And Derby Monster is staying on his feet and staying in bounds and picking up that lead jammer status. We got 6 hours of Derby here today, folks. 3 full bouts. Unsanctioned, because we just like each other. And that'll be a forearm on Derby Monster for basically throwing another person into their own team. Yes, number 5-7 for Wisconsin Men's, 57 Steak, S-T-E-A-K, trying to put some points on the board here for Wisconsin Men's to take advantage of this power jam. Ooh, staying in bounds and getting knocked to the outside just before he's able to do anything about it by Enigma. That's number 2. Blocking out a bounce penalty for 404 Fire Wally. That's right, kids. He's back for his reportedly, allegedly, whatever it is, final Terrors season. But we'll see. People have said that multiple times before. And there goes, just in camera there was Merlin knocking Stake to the inside line. And Stake looking for some offense, getting some. Number 25, that's stunt double. Tara's doing a good job of recycling and scooting all the way back when they have to. It's a good reform penalty up at front there. Derby Monster is now standing in the box. It feels like he's been in there for a while. That'll be the natural conclusion of this jam. Twin Cities Terra's. Oh, there goes. They're letting Derby Monster out of the box, so Wisconsin will not be starting on a power jam.
6 minutes into this first bout, we've got Twin Cities Terra's at 32. Wisconsin roller derby.
Okay, jamming for the Terrors, we have number 88. There's Nader's going to nate, and there he goes, nading all the way to the outside. A very narrow miss there by number 9. That's Mama for Wisconsin men's. Nearly slide tackling a ref into the outside lane after getting knocked into there by, I believe that was Paul of Duty. Nader's going to nate, squatting all the way down, getting his tush on the floor, almost making it all the way out, but getting knocked out of bounds just in time. Wisconsin men's is getting, they're getting wise as I say that. Oh, no, there he goes, getting out, knocked to the outside again. The Wisconsin team is getting it together and not giving up so many unchallenged passes, which is good. I mean, 2 full bouts in a day, you're going to learn a lot about everything that's going on out there in real time. You get to watch people learn. It's incredible. There's Nader picking up a quick and easy 4 points. Wisconsin trying to get back together. Looks like they have a shape at the front, but that is too big of a gap for Nader, and he will be making quick work of that. Skater X trying to provide some offense and providing just enough to give another easy pass for Nader's gonna nate. Nader's get another Grand Slam. Grand Slam is now worth 4 points due to the lack of that jammer point. Jammer lap point, I mean. Which is good because a Grand Slam in baseball is 4 points. I don't know why in the world a Grand Slam would be worth 5 points. That's just crazy. Anyway, that'll be a 28-point jam for the Twin Cities Terrors. That's the biggest jam so far of the day, putting them up to 60 points even. We've got Force Vector jamming once again for the Terrors, and that'll be number 916. That's California Curls for Wisconsin. Using that real pretty one foot 180 move to pick up lead jammer status. Yes, lead jammer status for Wisconsin roller derby for the first time in this bout, and she's looking for points. She's going to call it off. Oh, without picking up any points for Wisconsin. I don't know. I think I saw some hips, past some hips on that one, but I'm at a very poor angle. So don't look for me giving you any kind of great accurate advice. New jammer for Wisconsin, number 777, Black Magic. And Fire Wally making his Terrors jamming debut. And that is one busted pack, ladies and gentlemen. And somebody's going to the box for destruction, and that is going to be number 31 for Wisconsin. Didn't see the name. And there goes Call of Duty for his second penalty of the day. Going to pick it up. So this is an evenly matched pack with one blocker each being in the box. Black Magic still stuck behind. It looks like Merlin, Skater X, and mystery blocker number 3. Looks like Shane McPowan making his Terrors debut. He's a new addition to the team. Everybody's looking sharp in their new jerseys. Ooh, Firewall just barely avoiding Comrade Tapes' hit on the outside there. And everybody's trying to get back together, trying to play some offense. Black Magic is still stuck. Shane McPowan is turning around to provide hopefully some sort of brace. Skater X just floated all the way up to the front, presumably to provide some offense for Fire Wally, which has been successful. Right, and Black Magic getting some offense and hopefully making just not quite barely able to make it past Skater X there, but there goes Fire Wally getting knocked to the outside by Comrade Tapes, and we're getting another end of the jam penalty that's going to be called on 540 Merlin. And the Wisconsin coach is calling for a timeout. And a wrist guard malfunction appears to has happened, and that was Black Magic that managed to slip its way out of the wrist guard, which is never good. You sort of need that to stay there. You need your protective gear in order. It's just more fun that way. Being safe is fun.
And if you're enjoying watching roller derby and you're going, you know, I want...
Thanks again for popping by our YouTube channel or wherever you're watching this from. It's probably YouTube. That's where we're going to put it. Yeah. One of these days we'll get the Wi-Fi fixed in this lovely establishment so that we can be streaming this straight out of this gigantic concrete box and into your homes, or onto your phone on the bus, or if you're one of the fancy folks with the Wi-Fi on the plane, you can watch it then. Well, you know, that's later. That's when technology works for us, not against us. We got a packed house here at 3300 5th Street Northeast, Minneapolis, Minnesota, 55418. A lot of people coming out to watch a sport that is, it's fun. It's obviously a gigantic community here. None of this is a non-sanctioned weekend, so we're just skating because we like skating. And Nader's gonna Nate likes skating quite a bit because he just popped all the way out real quick, as he is wont to do. He's one of the twinkle toesier jammers that the Terrors have. Nacho Man Randy Sandwich, which is the full name, which is a stupendous derby name, getting through, having the most success so far against the Terrors. Nader's getting caught up in a gigantic scrum, skating backwards, seeing Nacho Man approaching and calling it off. Box is cleared for both teams, so we'll have full strength packs to start jam number 8 or 7. I never know what that little number means all the time. I mean, it says J7 right now, but does that mean jam 7 just happened? We're going into jam 7. We'll find out if that little number changes. It did. So this is jam 8. And there goes Derby Monster, scooting by on that inside line real quick like, and Skater X throwing Steak out of bounds with his shoulder. And here comes Derby Monster for his scoring pass, going to shove his way through the middle. And Steak nearly making it all the way out, but Enigma had other ideas, namely that Steak goes out of bounds without scoring any points or doing anything. Comrade Tapes attempting to apply some offense for Steak, but Steak went the other direction. But, oops, very nearly. And Derby Monster smashing his way through for another 4-point pass. Derby Monster trying to use some Derby camouflage, a.k.a. the other team's jammer, to approach the back, hopefully without being noticed, but noticed he is, and out he is for 4 more points. Ooh, Shane McPown getting offended heavily there. And we've got a no pack, and there goes Derby Monster again for 4 more points. Enigma bringing Stake all the way to the back. We got 30 seconds left in this jam. There's already a 20-point scoring endeavor. And there goes Derby Monster getting knocked to the inside with some pretty solid teamwork there by Tapes and number 59. I think it says Gloom. I think the back of the jersey is at Gloom. I'll find out. I'll report back. Yep, Gloom is the name. Trying to hit some of the Terrace folks to the outside, making it easier for their jammers. We got Force Vector putting the star on again for the Terrace, having a nice chin wag there with Mama, number 9, for Wisconsin. This bout has been brought to you by a whole lot of snow management skills, and that's a nice hit by 440. I think that's the captain for the Terrors on Force Vector there to keep him from scoring too easily and trying his best to recycle all the way to the front. Calling for his team to play some offense, and offend they do, but Mama's going to bounce right into Merlin, and then that 3 wall of Terrors is going to gobble him right back up. Becky's getting rooted on by some folks in the crowd, but Force Vector is going to get knocked to the inside and then bounce all the way back to the outside. Mama nearly make, oh, nope, that's a star pass has occurred and appears to have been successful. That's number 440 for Wisconsin now with the star on his head. Bugman, number 440 for Wisconsin. Ooh, and a good hit. And a whistle is happening. That will be a multiplayer block being called on 404 Firewall. That's a second penalty for the day. If I can squint and read the little whiteboard in the middle. Bugman is out. Bugman's out, folks. And Force Vector is picking up more points. And that'll be the call off from Force Vector as Bugman approaches the back of the pack. Picking up a point. Wisconsin is on the board, friends and enemies. We got a point for Wisconsin, and the crowd goes wild. Well, Terrors better watch out because it's always that once you get a point on the board, 2 points. 2 points for Wisconsin. Getting on the board to a wonderful reception, and that's a lot of people shoving a lot of other people at the beginning of this jam number 10, and that'll be Nader's gonna Nate picking up lead jam, and there is Black Magic number 777, and number 17 is reporting to the EMT table while Black Magic is approaching the Terrors wall. Derby Monster doing a little bit of blocking for the Terrors today at this point, while Naders is making another scoring pass for 4 more points. Black Magic once again being stuck behind the Terrors wall. Wisconsin's bench coach is motioning for Black Magic to take that star off and get that pass completed. Yelling it now. Well, I'll tell you, when you're a jammer, you're stuck back there. It's just like, this is my life now. It's just an empty hole of my feelings. Everything is horrible, and I'll never ever be done with this. This is my life. All right, got some pretty effective offense there happening from York. We have a truck cut penalty being called on somebody. We're not really sure what's going on. That'll be number 5. Storm is going to be heading to the penalty box. And nearly an apex jump, but it was certainly an apex jump trip slide out of bounds for Nader's Gonna Nate, and that'll be the end of jam number 10. And that'll be Nader's Gonna Nate is getting his he's matching his previous high of 28 in one jam. We have an official timeout being called. This official timeout brought to you by Getting Things Done Correctly. Loose Change is our in-house announcer. She's having a great time. Give her a microphone, tell her to talk for 6 hours, she'll do it. It'll be perfectly entertaining the entire time. Nader's Gonna Nate reporting to the EMT's table just to make sure that their friend is okay. Everything looks fine. Looks like they took maybe a hit to the head, maybe a knock as they fell over. There's a rolling whistle, which means we're about to get rolling again. California Curls 916 putting the star on for Wisconsin, giving a high five to Force Vector, or as we have affectionately referred to him as Vecky the Jammer.
When that whistle, 5 seconds.
5 seconds is called, a whistle is blown, and more roller derby is now happening. And Force Vector just putting the pogo sticks on his tiny little feet there. They're not tiny feet, they're normal feet. They're normally sized feet. Approaching the back of the pack, running into, that'll be 3715, all beef surprise. And Merlin knocking California Curls to the outside again. That'll be Merlin rocking the tucked-in jersey look. Trying it out. Good for him. Vecky's got lead jam status, and he's got 4 more points for the Twin Cities Terrors. And California Curls nearly making it, but the recycling game on the Terrors is pretty strong. Bugman nearly getting in front of Force Vector enough to knock him off course, but as you can see, it's fine. A lot of action going on in that far corner, of course, which means I have to do a better job describing what's going on. Oh, and that'll be Bugman giving timing his hit on Force Vector just perfectly. Force Vector tried to do an apex jump, but Bugman saw that was happening at the same exact time, gave him a little hip bump, and knocked him inbounds such that he fell over, and it looked pretty good. Looked pretty good to me. It's fun to watch. California Curls is out of the pack for Wisconsin, and Force Vector is getting stuck behind a wall of white for just the last couple of seconds and calls it off just in time. 15 points for Vecchi, and I do believe Nader's 28-point jam is going to stand as the largest so far, largest single jam. Ooh, we're going to move the action up to the pivot line for jam number 12. And this will be Nacho Man Randy Sandwich going up against Firewally, who dances his way through the inside line, picking up lead jammer status. Nacho Man nearly picking up enough offense there to get through, but this is a real spread out pack, and we're trying to give you the full picture here, but you know, 3/4 view ain't going to be the best thing ever. And Firewally making it through there just barely. 4 more points. Nacho Man Randy Sandwich sees some daylight, but daylight is also York, and York just stops him just long enough for Skater X to pop up back up there, help out his friends, and that was real good effort, real close one. Firewally with a little hop, skipping a 4-point pass. And York once again pushing the Nacho Man outside and getting ran back by Skater X, number 9. And that's a no pack, and that's a pack. It sounds like we're going to get a destruction. Autocorrect swagging his hands around there, but I can't hear him. I got earbuds in. Oh, that's 0405. That's Paul of Duty with his 3rd penalty in the first half. Not too normal for all of us to see Paul of Duty sitting down in that box so often, but there goes York for, it looked like a forearm penalty, and Firewally providing his own offense, because I guess his blockers were busy or something. I don't know. That'll be Smashelhoff and Skater X. Looks like Wisconsin's got the right idea, pushing that pack all the way up to the apex to give their jammer a better chance. And it's all high fives and rainbows on this crisp March afternoon here in northeast Minneapolis. Sounds like I was hearing some force vector chants, so that'll be force vector. Ooh, that was almost very cute. Little cute move there by Nader's Gonna Nate. Very, very nearly doing just kind of a waltz jump. I think they call them a waltz jump when you're like, it's an apex jump, but you do it on a straightaway. Because, I mean, why not? If you got springs on your feet, you best use them. Bugman putting the brakes on Nader's Gonna Nate just barely enough. And oh my goodness, is the one hand out of bounds drill going to actually do something? It is. It is. Nader stayed in, only had the one hand out of bounds, and it kept him in position long enough. Ooh, it looked like Steak wasn't feeling too good there after that last fall, but that'll be Derby Monster getting hit to the outside by Gloom. And Derby Monster's slow to get up, but usually when you hit Derby Monster out and he hits the ground, it usually takes a lot of force. So, yeah, he'll be feeling that one for sure. I just wish he could get a new helmet. He's been skating in that helmet since I started skating 4 years ago, and that's, too long. Too long. Oh, and there's Nader's Gonna Nate finding daylight just barely through the wall for Wisconsin. Oh, and nearly knocked him to the inside. Got him all the way up against that rope, looked like, and hopping just enough to stay in bounds. And Steak's got that star taken off. He's holding on to it now. Hoping for Bugman to come save his life, but Bugman is currently doing work against Nader's, and there he goes again. And that'll be the natural conclusion of that jam. 20 points only for Nader on that one. We really expect more out of him. I mean, not really. That was amazing, but.
Too many jams make me very, very tired, and I don't do anything. I can't even begin to imagine how tired the skaters actually are.
Got an official review coming up here for White.
It looks like we have an official review being called.
Oh, an official review being called by. Oh, it's the Twin Cities Terrors. Terrors would like something officially reviewed.
It is the Terrors that are calling for an official review.
I mean, why not? Call for whatever you like, I suppose. This official review being called by a team has been brought to you by Pedantry. Probably. I don't know. I'm not in that huddle. I don't know what it's all about. Again, I'm just here for cold takes. Cold takes and roller skates. I have a couple of Twin Cities Terrors alumnus in the house. Jamet Dim is here, looking bearded as always.
Excellent. And yourself? I need to teach you guys how to press.
Someone flim-flammed Citizen Canine to run a little bar area back there, where we're offering all kinds of tasty beverages, adult and otherwise.
Fair enough. Ooh, we've started the wave.
Oh, we have a wave getting started here. I'm going to participate off camera, obviously,
Which
but
direction are we going, people? Pick a direction.
looks like some confusion has occurred. Haven't seen the wave here in a while, so I guess we all collectively forgot exactly what we were doing or what was going on. Because of course we would. Be sure to stop by here for our next bout, which is later. Don't have the schedule in front of me, and by the time you watch this, you'll probably have already been to it. But every time we have an event here, or when we're setting up a table at North Star Roller Derby bout or Minnesota Roller Girls bout, we always bring the name yourself Derby wheel, constructed by 107. That's Shane McPowan. He thought that it would be a lot more fun to have fate to determine your Derby name. So we've got a little spinner, spin the wheel, put your name on a name tag, and have a great time.
All right, friends, just under 3 minutes remaining in this first half. What? First half, you say? Oh, that's right. We have another 30 minutes of roller derby after halftime. So we are just getting
So
of
wish I had another camera, but two kids have been putting Derby names on the back of somebody else without their knowledge. I didn't know how many times they'd done it, but it appears that they have done it 6 times now with varying degrees of success. But I think he's onto him. It's just more fun for them to spin the wheel and go through every single sticker we have. Well, officials still officially reviewing the official request by the Terrors for whatever they were asking for. And everybody's waiting patiently or impatiently. Doesn't matter, you're still going to have to wait. We also have the St. Louis Beekeepers in the house. They will be taking over for Twin Cities Terrors in the bout against Wisconsin after this bout. And then the Terrors will be back to skate against the Beekeepers in the final bout of the day. Just a lot of bouting. A lot of very, very tired faces will be joining us at the Lake Monster tap room for our after party, which hopefully will feature many beers and smiling faces. Maybe a food truck. We'll see. Typically they pack up around 9. We don't get there till 9:30, but you never know. Never know. Wild, crazy world out there. In a very short period of time, we will determine whether the Terrors will retain their official review, and then we can all get back to doing whatever's going on. Okay, so it looks like they will be retaining their official review, and Gloom appears to have been tossed from the game based on that official review. Very unfortunate for Wisconsin. You hate to see a kind of thing like that happen. I mean, it is an unsanctioned bout, but I mean, got to keep it clean out there. We're all friends. We're all having fun, having a good time. So let's try to keep it that way. And back to your originally scheduled program. Nobody tunes in to see the official reviews. I mean, why? But there goes Force Vector out for his lead status. He loves that lead status. I mean, by sheer... Oh, and that's a very successful star pass, with the exception of Comrade Tapes is still stuck behind the wall of terror. And Force Vector is picking up 4 more points. Chasing that 28-point single jam total, brought to you by Nader's Gonna Nate. And a fancy little spin around move. Gonna be another 4, and Comrade Tapes is almost out, trying to go up against David Smashelhoff. We've got Hoff going to the box, number 200. Sorry, there's 3 zeros there. I can count and read. Maybe not at the same time. Force Vector doing another little twirly bob, getting past the thingamadoo, and picking up 4 whatchamacallits. Because why not? Why not? Little jammer on jammer action. That'll be Comrade Tapes doing a rock and roll slide into all beef surprise. But staying in bounds and going up against that wall again. Looking for some offense from Wisconsin, and Vecchi is going to head to the box. That's a power jam for the last 23 seconds of this jam. And that'll be not a penalty. Okay, it is a track cut penalty being called on Comrade Tapes. Trying to talk their way out of that one, but not quite. And there goes Force Vector. And everything's done. When I say everything, of course, I mean that jam. And I see our head official for the afternoon, Matt Statter, calling for an official timeout. This official timeout brought to you by the WIFTA Rules Book. I believe the confusion is happening where another Terrors alumni. What's the singular for alum? It's just alum?
I believe it's alumnus.
Alum, okay, alumnus. Okay, cool. Well, Dan Tabor, a.k.a. Smash, is here joining us for the 3-hour afternoon, or three bout afternoon, not 3-hour afternoon, 6 hours. It's too much fun. Do not adjust your television sets or YouTube devices or tiny tablets. I just turned the mic down for a while. Bet I fooled you. Oh, we've got a very great rejoinder here with that'll be Storm is number 5 and Bugman number 440. Oops, and 2 more penalties happening. 1 big penalty happening. I can't tell. In any case, the penalty has happened. California Curls is getting knocked to the outside by Merlin, and that'll be the end of that 2-minute jam. Just like riding a bike, talking into a microphone. So simple. Stunt Devil coming over to say hello to the wrong bench, because that's just more fun that way. Yeah, the reason I put the mic down for a bit was I had to catch up with Smash. He and Emma Go-Go Boots are good friends of us here at the Twin Cities Terrors and the Derby verse in general. Great individuals, wonderful people. And Force Vector's out for lead jammer again. That lead jammer stuff must be habit forming. He's just addicted to that crap. Anyways, we got number 4-6 Nacho Man Randy Sandwich. I guess he's picking up a penalty for forearm? I didn't see it. And I can't squint that hard to see through Malnavia, who is writing things down. Bebop, blue bop, there's some offense. And Bugman is out of the box and into the Force Vector. And Vecchi's taking a knee. He's had enough for a minute. And he's pushing. He's pushing against Stunt Double, providing a pretty solid hit. And Vecchi's down. Serenity is doing a good job of keeping that pack together. Solid bridging. And Bugman is going to call for his friends to play some offense. Merlin getting offended. Merlin, one of the stronger, well, you know, we're all kind of pretty strong blockers on the Terrors. Can't really point at anybody and be like, no, bad blocker. Good blockers, all of them. Nacho Man Randy Savage, loving life right now. Trapped once again behind number 2-7 York. I've been trapped behind York a few times. It sucks. Just not a fun place to be. Vecchi coming back in for another scoring pass, but not a scoring pass because he fell over. And everything's fine. Again, high fives and rainbows. Having a good time on roller skates with your friends. That's what roller derby's all about. Oh, and official reviews. This official review brought to you by Exhaustion, probably. What they're probably going to try to get that official review called on is asking for a low block called on Vecchi, because Vecchi, as he was getting hit out of bounds to the inside by Bugman, wound up sweeping Bugman's legs out from underneath him, and then Bugman fell over, which is typically a low block. Typically a low block. But we're going to see what happens. It's probably going to be fine. Haha, I've had it confirmed by Derby Monster that my supposition was correct. They are looking to get at low block call assessed to Vecchi, which would not only put Vecchi in the box, it would also give Wisconsin a power jam start, which everyone loves those. I mean, unless you're the other team. But if you are power jamming from the start, you have all kinds of options. You can set up an offensive scheme. You can draw up a play. You can get lead jam and get some points. You know. World's your oyster. Carry away. These new jerseys have been printed by Afternoon Printing in South Minneapolis. Looking pretty good. I'm wearing one right now. It's a nice comfy feel. Fun story. Well, you can decide if it was a fun story or not, but during the testing and sizing process, I was the person that was responsible for the test jersey, and it was a size large. And I was like, this is going to be fine. Didn't even try it on. Everybody else tried it on. They all went down by about one size from what they expected, and I thought I knew better, and I didn't. So my large is just slightly too large. Could have gone to a medium. So thanks to, I think it's Badger Activewear that made these. Thanks to Badger Activewear for making us all feel just a little bit fitter than normal. And thanks to Afternoon Printing and Jesse Storms for helping us out with getting it all put together. I gotta say, Photoshop is not as easy as it looks, especially if you have no idea what you're doing. I'm of course talking about the design process, brought to you by yours truly. This official review brought to you, like I said, by Exhaustion, but also by, perhaps, an official review retention. But York is looking at the bench for no particular reason. I think if they would have gotten that overturned. Oh, Becky's going to the box. That is an official review success by Wisconsin. That is 2 successful official reviews in one single bout. Hi, Barb.
Well, hello.
How are you?
Quite well. How are you doing today?
Oh, fine.
How are you enjoying these fine roller derby actions?
Oh, there's a lot of actions here. It's going real good. How's the announcing out there?
The announcing out here is going real well. It's itself. Yeah, indeed.
Sweet. That was our in-house announcer, Loose Change. I call her Barb, because that's also what her name is. And I'm just that kind of a person. Anyways, we've got Mama number 9 going up against the Wall of Terror for Wisconsin. And Comrade Tapes motioning to get perhaps Power Jam situation no longer for Wisconsin, as Vecchi is now out of the box and approaching at speed the Wisconsin line, trying his fun little apex waltz jump step thingy, and not being successful the first time around, but managing to snip, dice, and slice his way through. And Mama is still stuck behind the wall of black. That is the Terror's wall. After 2 unsuccessful attempts, the third attempt is successful for a force vector to score 4 more points. That'll bring us total up to 8 for this jam, I believe. This will be jam 3. That'll be Hawkward going to the box for, I think, a positional blocking penalty. But we'll see. Ooh, and a devastating shoulder blow to Mama, courtesy of York and York's shoulder. He complains that shoulder is sore a lot. I wonder why. I mean, I don't think anybody really wonders why at all. It's clearly obvious. He's really got to start using both straps on his backpack, I think. Anyways, Force Vector getting 4 more points, and he's calling it off. Everybody's coming back to the bench, looking bright-eyed, bushy-tailed, or so, some semblance of that. White's calling for a timeout. That'll be Wisconsin taking another timeout. This timeout brought to you by caring for your bench and caring about the mental and physical well-being of your players. Because Wisconsin is going to have to play the Beekeepers right after this. And I don't know if you know this about the Beekeepers, but they're the B team for the most successful derby organization, I think, of the last at least 5 years. That'd be the St. Louis Gatekeepers, by the way. This team timeout also brought to you by a run to the snack bar, which is what I'm going to do. So enjoy the natural ambiance of 3300 5th Street Northeast Warehouse. That'll be Black Magic nearly making it past Hall of Duty. There he goes. Folks, Black Magic is making it. And Derby Monster is going to call it off before Black Magic can score any points. Becky's got his helmet off. He's probably just tired or warm or injured or both or all three. He's giving me a thumbs up, so that's probably a good sign. Now he's looking at me. Yeah, so there's a skater here from Wisconsin. Not Wisconsin. There's obviously a lot of skaters here from Wisconsin. What you may not have known is that there are some skaters here who do not have skates on from Minnesota Roller Girls, one of whom knows our esteemed Force Vector. She made him a sign. It doesn't say Becky. It says Becky with a B. A purposeful mispronunciation and miswording. But just because I was explaining a joke, you missed me talking about California Curls getting out for not lead jammer for Wisconsin. Pretty quick there against an otherwise impenetrable terrors wall. And I think that was Nate just picking up only 4 points. I don't know. We'll have a chat with him later. We really expect more out of him. Oh, well. There goes the jam. The jam was able to start jam 6, and that's Firewally 404 for the Terrors. Using those long lower limbs of his to dance his way through on the outside, and now he's going to try to dance his way through the inside through Bugman, Serenity, and Stake. And Bugman and Stake are doing a pretty good job, and then here comes the scrum, and Hawkward is going to keep on the inside. A lot of confusion and action going on. Black 9 forearm, that'll be Skater X headed to the box, and Bugman with a successful star pass. And they got a power jam. Uh-oh, is that going to be skating out of bounds? Yep, a lot of confusion there happening with so the jam, there was a jam whistle that was called, and they being the refs decided that Firewally picked up a penalty on the last couple of seconds, which means that the jam was not in fact called off, but since Bugman heard the 4 whistles, he naturally skated to his bench, which means that Bugman picked up a skating out of bounds penalty. But oh my God, I'm so glad that y'all got to see that. But he managed to stay in bounds in like the Swan Lake of falling to the ground. And that's 2 more points, at least, possibly 3. That's 4 more points. That is a almost a grand slam. He just basically barely dragged his toe getting out there, but that is definitely at least 3 more points for Wisconsin. And the jam, there's only 2 seconds left on it, and someone's getting called for a something or other. That'll be Bugman going to the box. After picking up 3 more points? 4 more points. 7-point jam for the Bugman. Count them up, folks. Heck of an effort from Bugman there, especially after getting perhaps some momentum derailed by that really unfortunate mixing of signals there. Vecchi's plowing his way through for another lead jammer status. Lead jammer status is kind of his thing. That's what he likes. That'll be Vecchi getting shoved all the way to the back. A good defensive stand here by Wisconsin. Except for just there. Which you can kind of see that. Yeah. Bugman's out of the box. He wants points. And that's some unfortunate timing in the offense there. But fighting his way through, nearly staying in bounds. That'll be a black penalty. That'll be Merlin headed to the box for a forearm call. And a really, really ugly non-forearm getting not called there on Derby Monster. Derby Monster basically. Black 0-0 forearm. Now Dirty Monster's going to go to the box. Maybe something of a makeup call there. And that's Bugman getting out for not lead jammer status. And Vecchi is stuck behind Comrade tapes. We've got 4. That's a grand slam for the Bugman. Bugman is picking up 4 more points, and he's got a well-earned break on that bench. I'm really bad at counting and reading, but I think that was 3 jams in a row for the Bugmeister. This timeout brought to you by Controlled Breathing. Barb's laughing at me. She thinks my sponsors for timeouts are mirthful. Wait. Controlled breathing. That is correct. That would have been weird. Yes, controlled breeding is kind of illegal in America. I'm pretty sure they call that eugenics. And that's, I think Pol Pot tried that. Look how that worked out. Well, we don't want anything to do with that timeout any longer, so it's over with, and we're going back to Derby. We've got Mama, number 9, skating for Wisconsin, going up against, that'll be Enigma, Merlin, and Paul of Duty. Couple of whistles coming out, or is it just the one? Nope. Stake's hips aren't long enough to squid out far enough so that Nate doesn't have to get another 4-point jam, but that's what he got, so here we are. Mama getting some encouraging words from Vecchi on the bench here. A little friendly
friendly chat between Mama and Derby Monster. There's some Derby Monster going to the box for another forearm. Because when you knock somebody over, somebody's going to get called for something. Sometimes what happens. There's Nate not falling over, because Nate usually doesn't do that. Oh, and Mama's going to go to the box. That'll be a power jam for the Twin Cities Terrors. And it looks like it's going to be a Twin Cities Terrors power jam to start the next jam, because Mama sat down at 29 seconds left. And last I checked, all those penalties are worth 30 seconds. So he'll be standing, but he will not be released. They'll have 1 second's worth of a power jam. Yeah, Nate knows he cut. Everybody's yelling at him. You got to cut. So it looks like what we're going to have here is I don't know what's going to happen here. I'm not an expert on what this means for the next jam, but we have two jammers starting the next jam in the box, which means an official review is going to be called, an official timeout is being called by the officials to make sure they know what they're doing. I have full faith in them. This official timeout being brought to you by Fire Wally's Shorts. Yes, that's Ada, his dog, on his short. Oh, you can't really see that on the camera. He's standing behind X right now. Maybe we'll get X's attention and get him to come over here so I can. Maybe not. Not worth it. You'll just have to come see for yourself what his dog's shorts look like. That was a small aside with Slammerai Jack, known simply as Jack these days. The time is 4:38 Central Daylight Time here in Minneapolis. Looking very much forward to the next bout. I am, because I don't have to skate in it. Nate is no longer in the box, which means that we're going to send York, a.k.a. Bear, out there with the star on his head. And the crowd goes mild. And the official timeout is being talked about between the captains. and at least one set of bench coaches, or one of the bench coaches from Wisconsin, and none of the bench coaches from Twin Cities. This is fine. Just clarification. I'm sure if it's important, York will tell somebody else. Okay. An in-house call for giving it up for Wisconsin Roller Derby has occurred, and we will thusly give it up. York is wearing the star for the first and likely final time for this bout. He's good for one or two. And some quick shuffle stepping on the inside line is going to happen. And Buckman's going to go to the box for what it looked like a forearm, and that's going to be his fourth penalty, I do believe. It's going to be a many numbered penalty. Certainly not zero. An additional zero has happened, and that's Mama going to the box for Wisconsin. And Bear, man, it's always better when Bear gets a 2-minute jam when he's jamming, because why not? Some solid offense being applied to the Wisconsin wall by seasoned veteran Fuego Wallace, otherwise known as Fire Wally. Bugman getting to that outside line just in time to keep York from picking up points too easily. And keeping him pretty well in check there. Bugman being an integral part of this Wisconsin team, providing some great defense, and York's had enough. There he goes, calling it off. Yay, Bear, indeed. So what do we have here? What do we have? Do we have any points? Yeah, Bear picked up 13 points. Not too shabby for the Bear Meister. Derby Monster is picking up the star one more time for the Terrors. And Black Magic with his own star on his own head. And Derby Monster is shoving his way through on the outside while Black Magic dances his way through the inside, staying upright just in time. I heard Black 540 or 0405, and there he goes. There he goes, Paul to the box. Black Magic is on a power jam, yeah. So Derby Monster picked up a penalty that I did not see, and Black Magic has successfully completed the initial pass, and Derby Monster is now out. And we've got a full minute and 10 seconds where Black Magic can score points. There's one. That'll be still one, perhaps two. And Derby Monster is picking up 4 more points, but that's not really the story of this. This is that was some pretty good offense being supplied there by the Wisconsin skater on the inside line. Magic has lost his hat, and I am not sure whether he realizes it. He cannot score points without wearing that hat. And he just skated right by it. He appears to be pretty exhausted. I kind of want to yell at him to put your hat on! Put your hat on! He got the hat. But he's got to put it on, though. That's why I was yelling, put it on. Don't pick up the hat. Put the hat on. Anyway, some more full beef surprise, trying to provide some more offense for Black Magic. Being mildly successful. And the natural conclusion of that jam has occurred. That'll be 2 big points for Black Magic. 3 points, I'm sorry. 3 points for Black Magic, and we've got a timeout coming back from Wisconsin. This timeout brought to you by Bench Celebrations by Wisconsin. 3 more points. I know there's only 9 minutes and 28 seconds left in the second period, but the good news is that there's going to be 2 additional bouts. 2 more bouts. The Twin Cities Terrace is going to take a bout off. They're going to probably go do some meditation, some breathing in unison, building some team rapport. And Force Vector is going to make his way through on the inside line. That rope is lava, everybody. Rope is lava. California Curls trying to make their way through the pack. Merlin's not a fan of that idea, though. He's going to go ahead and make sure that she doesn't make it through. Here comes Force Vector. It's a little bit crowded out there, Becky. You might want to try the inside. Sure enough, there he goes. Almost through, but California Curls has completed their initial pass. And not lead jammer status has been called. Which means that, oh my goodness, is that points? That is 3 big points for California Curls because the Terrors didn't play to the whistle. They just stopped. They just stopped playing and they didn't get together. Getting a side eye from Wally. Yeah, I know. Talking trash about your own team. Usually bad. That's just the kind of weenie I am. Anywho, Nate is going to be jamming for the Twin Cities Terrors, and Nacho Man Randy Sandwich going at that wall as hard as he can. Nader's going to Nate has picked up lead jammer status already, however. Cute little hop. Oop, and that'll be Nacho Man getting knocked to the ground by York. And Nacho Man getting knocked to the outside by Derby Monster. Got Becky yelling about shapes or whatever. And Bugman running into Nader's gonna Nate, who almost got knocked to the inside. But Nader's is going to pick up another 4 points. And that looks like a successful star pass from Nacho Man to Bugman, who did not stay in bounds. Hard to say from out here, but him skating out of bounds in a backwards direction typically means they did get knocked out of bounds by somebody. But Bugman trying to fight his way through, scooting to the outside, going back into the middle, looking for some offense or confusion at least. But he's going up against Derby Monster and York, and spinning across York is Bugman, picking up his not lead jammer status, and Nate's going to call it right off. Shutting it down. 12 more points for the Terrors, courtesy of Nate. Who we got out there? We got Fuego Wallace with his dog pants is going to be storming across the outside line, picking up along the outside line to pick up lead jammer for Twin Cities Terrors, and Mama is still behind the wall of black. We've got Enigma, number 2. We have Merlin in number 540, and new terror this year is Snarkbite, number 789. A valued addition to the Terrors squad. Oops. Enigma doing his best to not fall over backwards. And it looks like the Wisconsin team is staying all the way up at the front to try to give themselves the best defensive opportunity they have. We have a whistle. I don't know what for. Perhaps it was a fake whistle. It was a fake whistle. No penalty being assessed. And Enigma keeps bouncing Mama to the middle, out of bounds. Sure, Mama's had enough of that. Mama, sure enough, is going to hand it off to Tapes. Comrade Tapes, number 0110. And Fire Wally approaching the Wisconsin wall. That's Black 540 picking up another forearm. That's Merlin reacquainting himself with the Lake Monster holding tank, a.k.a. the penalty box. And Wisconsin getting their defensive shapes figured out. And that'll be the natural conclusion of that jam. 24 points for Fire Wally. Or more? 24. Five seconds was being called, however, that'll be an official timeout. This official timeout brought to you by Creative Problem Solving. Well, the bummer about being Wisconsin today is that you have to play 2 bouts back-to-back. But the bright side about Wisconsin is that after your second bout, you're done for the day. You can do whatever you want. Hopefully that means stick around for the third and final bout and follow all of us over to Lake Monster Brewing to thank them for sponsoring us by buying things from them, primarily beer. Official timeout is no longer an official timeout because it is now over. Looks like a power jam start for the Terrors. The jammer of note for jammer of record, I should say, not of note. Jammer of record for Wisconsin appears to be Comrade Tapes. Becky making his way through the Wisconsin blockers. Bugman hot on his heels, but not hot enough. Becky rolling into the wall of Wisconsin, going from the outside, having no daylight, going to the inside and finding just a little sliver of track and using number 25, I believe that is stunt double, using them as kind of a jump-off point to make his way across the inside line, and that'll be Vecchi almost picking up a track cut. Bugman just slipped out of bounds. So that's a no pass, no penalty, and that'll be 3 points? It'll be points, that's all I know. Stunt double not falling for the Jukes, but is now out of play, so we'll have to recycle and let Vecchi go. Tapes is out of the box. Star in hand. handing that star off to 3715. All Beef Surprise. All Beef Surprise not making his way out of the pack before knocking Vecchi to the inside. And it may have cost him an easy pass. Somebody got called for a cut. Looks like it was Bugman getting called for a track cut penalty. Only 1 minute and 37 seconds left in this period, so yep, that'll be the 5th penalty for the Bugman. I see the Beekeepers in their signature, I don't know if it's signature, but they're nice blue jerseys, blue and yellow. Fun colors. Fun colors, fun team, fun people. The Nadering Nate naders his way on the outside line all the way to his lead jammer status, and Black Magic did not go. Oh, he did go out of bounds. Now he's back out of bounds, and he's skating behind Skater X. This has the potential for being the final jam of this first bout. Only 35 seconds left in the period clock. Terrors with lead jammer status. So as soon as that period clock hits 0, Nader can tap his hips and send us all to intermission. After which I will pause. This isn't a live stream. I don't need to tell anybody that. You'll just click next on the YouTube playlist and everything's going to be fine. Nate's getting knocked onto the inside thanks to Serenity and perhaps Bugman, but Bugman is stuck now behind the rest of the Terrors, and Black Magic is digging hard, and he made it. He made it. That is a successful initial pass, dancing just on the outside, and he's looking like he really wants that period clock to be over with, and it is over with. The unofficial final 480 for the Twin Cities Terrors to 1-9 from Wisconsin. Well, I'm going to turn off the camera and I'm going to get a snack, maybe. Snack sounds good. Well, go ahead and click next on your playlist, folks, because that's what's going to happen. I'm going to sign off for now. This is Smalls on the mic, and the victory laps are happening. And we'll see you in a couple seconds.